Hello and welcome everybody. Today I wanted to talk about Call of Juarez Bound in Blood and see if it's worth playing in 2025. Sadly, I missed out on it the first time around, but I'm a massive Western fan. I've played Call of Juarez Gunslinger, which was absolutely amazing and one of the funnest Western games I've ever played. I'm also a massive fan of both Red Dead Redemption games, and I love all Western media, so I was really excited to play Bound in Blood because we don't have enough Western games. The game throws you directly into combat, teaching you the basics of the game. It plays like a standard first-person shooter, although the guns feel really slow because of the Western setting. I'm not saying it in a bad way, they're super crunchy and satisfying to use. A unique mechanic though is the cover system. If you hide behind a crate, for example, you can peek out and pop enemies in the head. To be honest with you, I didn't use it that often, but it is a cool touch. Now in Bound in Blood, you play as two characters. You can either play as Ray or his younger brother Thomas, and each of them have a different playstyle. Now when it comes to Ray can use two revolvers and dual wield them. He can also hold a revolver and throw dynamite, which is extremely powerful, and he can pick up Gatling guns, kind of like in Halo Reach where you could detach it and you could walk around with it, which is awesome at times. Ray's concentration mode is pretty similar to if you've played Red Dead Redemption, Deadeye, where you can mark the enemies and slow down time. Ray's works pretty much the same as that. Ray also has more health, so it makes sense that he can have two revolvers and kind of run into the action. He's slow and heavy, and it's also kind of cool in certain parts where you have to help each other over obstacles. Thomas has to actually pull Ray up, which kind of just reinforces that he isn't very nimble. Now moving on to Thomas. Thomas has slightly less health but is way more nimble. He can't dual wield, he can have two revolvers. I usually use like a heavy revolver and then a slightly faster six shooter. He can also have a bow and arrow which can slow down time, and I had a lot of fun with that. He also has throwing knives which are extremely powerful and fun to use. One cool thing about Thomas is that he has a lasso and he can get to higher points. So when I actually unlocked a sniper rifle, it was really fun, using like a lasso, getting a sniper rifle and taking people out from a distance. Unfortunately with Thomas, because he's more nimble, he has less health. So with Thomas, I used the cover system much more often than when I was playing as Ray. Thomas also has a different concentration mode. You move the analog stick up and down and he auto shoots enemies. I actually preferred this quite a bit more because it was just awesome running into like a room and then you just move the analog stick up and down. It's like bang, bang, bang. Everybody's dead. And it's like much faster, and sometimes in the gunfights it's just way more satisfying than pinging people individually. In the beginning of each mission, you can actually choose to play as a different brother. So because I knew I was going to make a video about it, I played each mission as a different brother so that I could get a good feel for each of them. And I have to say, they both are really fun to play as. You can be super nimble, run into a room and kill everybody as Thomas, or use a lasso, get the high ground, snipe people. With Ray, you can just brute force your way into rooms with two revolvers and you feel like an absolute badass. One of my favorite things to do with Ray is to take dynamite in one hand, chuck it all over, kill a bunch of enemies, and then another great thing is being able to pick up the Gatling gun, and that's really satisfying to use with Ray, walking through a ghost town, mowing down all of the cowboys. It was really fun stuff. Now, there is one mechanic in the game that I really dislike, and that is the duels. And I'm not going to say too much about it. I think anybody who has played the game really doesn't like it. But after every single mission, there is a duel, and the game doesn't really explain very well how to do it. And this was just really a tedious part of the game. And at the end of it, I was just happy I didn't have to do any more of them. Because even for certain side mission, like some cowboy stole somebody's chickens and I have to go save them, or livestock, and then at the end of that mission you have to have a duel with the freaking thief. So it was so outplayed and everything had it at the end of it, and that was like probably the weakest part of the game and the most annoying part for me. I also just wanted to talk a little bit about the missions. The missions all have good variety and there isn't really much complaints. Most of them really do explore some interesting locations, forests, saloons, and cowboy ghost towns, the usual stuff. What was quite cool though was that there were these open areas, kind of like a free roam world, where you could get on your horse and do side missions. And I really actually enjoyed some of these areas. There are even like these little events that pop up on your way to a mission, kind of like in Red Dead Redemption, but much more toned down. and eventually after doing like 3 or 4 of them, I just ignored them. But I still thought that it was cool that they put these open areas in with side missions where you could buy better gear for yourself after completing the bounties or side missions. The game also looks really good. I have to say, some of these places look quite realistic, and even in today's standards, I think this game didn't age too badly. Sure, some of the characters look quite old, but the environments, I must say, still look pretty decent. Another small detail was there is a little bit of environmental destruction. So in massive gunfights, you're shooting through the saloons, the chairs break, the tables break, glass shattering everywhere. Small details like that, I really enjoy them, and it looked really cool and made the fight feel so much more immersive. For the story, without spoiling too much, it was really entertaining. Nothing to write home about, but it was entertaining, and in the end of the day, all a Western story needs to be, for me, is entertaining. Also did like the characters. The brothers start off wanting to get money to repair their farmhouse, but they just end up becoming massive pricks. And the youngest brother, William, tries to keep them in line, and he's a sort of moral compass. But he's not a very good moral compass because he doesn't really get through to his brothers whatsoever, and he basically just nags throughout most of the game, which at points was just very annoying. I was fine with just watching the brothers create chaos, and sure, they were not good guys, but in the West, there were seldom people that were complete good guys. There weren't really that many Clint Eastwoods, so I didn't have a problem with that.
He was forgiven.
The Lord forgave him?
Yes.
A cold-blooded murderer?
Yes.
Well, hell, that's good to know.
Some of the dialogue was pretty good, and other times the dialogue was pretty funny, I must say.
I can't wait until this is all over and we can be together. I wish this moment could last forever, just to be alone with you.
Overall, I like the story, and I don't really have too many issues with it. The game's short, the story's entertaining, the gameplay is fun, and would I recommend it? Yes, I would. Especially with how expensive games are now, you can pick up this game for a really cheap price on Steam, and it is backwards compatible on Xbox. That's how I played it, and I got it for a really good price. I'd recommend this game to you even more if you have 5 hours to kill and you're a massive Western fan. You are in for one hell of an entertaining time. I also wanted to ask you guys if you guys have any recommendations for me, anything Western, books, movies, series, or even other games that I might have missed out on. I have 3 movie recommendations for you, although I'm sure you guys have already watched them. Django Unchained, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Rango. I'm just joking. Rango is a good movie, but the last movie I want to recommend is kind of messed up and extremely brutal. So if you have a weak stomach, don't watch it. It's called Bone Tomahawk. That was one really disturbing cowboy movie, but I still thought they did a pretty good job with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If this video can get, let's say, 50 likes, I will force myself to play The Cartel, and I'm not really in the mood for that. Anyway guys, I hope you guys all have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.